What's good, my people? What's good? What's good? What's good? What's good? How y'all doing? Thank y'all for listening to this episode of the Chronic OGs podcast. I'm that boy they call Big Tone, one half of the Chronic OGs. Shout out to my little brother Smitty. Love you, bro. Let's get right to it. I'm excited about this episode because I get to address some misconceptions. And some of these misconceptions that I'm going to focus on today are from young voters. So let me give you a little brief kind of give you an example of what I'm talking about. Sorry. So recently, I talked to one of the kids that I used to coach. He now lives in Phoenix. Married, young boy, 25, 24. Married, so, always check in, or they check in. A lot of my players, I've sent about 30 to college. So this particular one, we started texting back and forth about the election. And he told me he was going to vote. And then he had already registered to vote. Then he was on his way to vote, early voting. Then he said he had something to do. And then he gave me some reasons on why he decided he wasn't even going to vote. All within like a 2-week span. Shit is crazy to me. So that tells me he listening to the internet. Listening to social media. Listening to people around him in this little circle. Instead of doing your own research. Facts matter. So, and this isn't the first conversation I had with a younger person. Another one was about 20. So, I kind of looked at both texts at the same time, and there was some common themes that they had. I'm not giving any names, but what I will tell you is I will be sending this episode directly to them. First part of the episode, we're going to go over just some of the things that they said and my rebuttal to that. And then I'm going to get into more of the things, more of my opinion. Okay. So one of the things they said is the country is too fucked up to repair. So I'm going to call bullshit on this. Because this person has never wanted or needed for anything. I know that for a fact. I know his parents. He had a car at 16. Parents helped him play college basketball, scholarship, paid his car for him early. Always there for him. Always there for him. They love him to death. Always there for him. You haven't experienced a fucked up country. There's countries that will put you in jail for saying that the country is too fucked up to repair. You haven't experienced a fucked up country. Go to Gaza when they listening to bombs flying over their head at night, wondering if the next one gonna hit them. When they knocking down hospitals and shit in Ukraine. What about the countries where women don't have no rights? Y'all got sisters. Women don't have any rights. Which matters? The country is fucked up to repair. People in office give empty promises. That may be true, but who? Who are you talking about? Because you haven't done your research tells me you listening to other people. Who? Who you talking about? And what were the promises? You're smart. You got a college degree. Well, that don't necessarily mean you're smart, but I know you're smart. Who? Who are the ones giving these empty promises to you that make you feel like the country is too fucked up to repair? And if the country's too fucked up to repair, why don't you be the one to repair it? To start the process. That goes to both of y'all. Things make you go, but I'm not done. No matter what, the country's still going to be fucked up. Again, you haven't experienced a fucked up country. You haven't. And if you go read if you go read the summary of Project 2025, you'll get exactly what you think it is. You'll get a fucked up country then. That's what you're going to get then. If Project 2025 take over, they want a nationwide abortion ban. You may not think it matters to you, to either one of you, but y'all got sisters. Oh, your sister would never do something like that. What if they get raped? Knock on wood. I think one got two sisters, the other one got two sisters. Both of y'all got two sisters. What if they get raped? But you get, baby, so what? Maybe you don't want, I get it. Some people are pro-life, some people are pro-choice. I'm pro, it ain't none of my goddamn business. Just an example of what a fucked up country would look like. A fucked up country would look like, this is what a fucked up country look like. You don't get to vote, homie. Your vote, and if you do, it don't count. That's a fucked up country. That's Russia. That's North Korea. A fucked up country means the dictators' political enemies will get prosecuted. So that means they can't speak out. So that means me doing a podcast and I'm, anti-Trump or whatever the case may be. Although I'm small beans, they can still come after me if they want to. Can't do it now. Say what the hell I want. The right to vote, whether you exercise that right, isn't always given in fucked up countries. I don't find anyone in politics worth voting for. Again, tell me why Kamala Harris is not worth your vote. Tell me why Donald Trump is not worth your vote. You're going by what you heard instead of what you read. You're going by what you was told instead of what you was read. That's what you're doing. There's another one that says there's a lot of stuff happening out there, and no one is around. No one is going to fix it. You be the one. If you don't think no one is around that can begin to fix some of the issues that you feel makes this country so fucked up, hear what I'm telling you, that you feel make this country so fucked up, you change it. You be the one. Then you could turn to me and be like, Coach, you was right, homie. You be the one. I mean, we gotta stop. This ain't the time to sit on a bench. Please go read. I'm gonna do an episode specifically on summarizing Project 2025. Now, I ain't reading all that shit, but I'm going to find a footnote somewhere. But I'm going to do my research instead of just saying Project 2025 is fucked up. I only know bits and pieces of it. I haven't found all of each chapter, summarizing each chapter, but I will. But from what I've read about chapter 2025, they try to restrict voting rights. They try to restrict abortion. They basically, in a nutshell, if you're a person of color, if you brown or dark skinned, they don't want you coming over here from another country. They only want people from Sweden and Norway and shit like that. Now I'm paraphrasing with the countries, but that's what it is. So that's the first half of it. So stop with these are fucking excuses. These aren't reasons. These are excuses. If 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 things that I've mentioned, if you have not done extensive research, at least a couple hours at least, on each one, they're excuses. And you sound foolish. Now I'm going to rock with you with my opinion. So we got 2 weeks left before the election for November 5th. And we have one president. So this is what I need to say first. The difference between the way Kamala Harris is treated on the campaign trail and Donald Trump is competed on. The difference between the way those two are treated on the campaign trail is really bad. And it's really disingenuous. And I'm going to tell you why. Every time Kamala Harris says something, gives a speech, gives an interview, does this, does that, it's never enough. They always say she leaving meat on the bone. She not explaining enough. She not detailing enough. She not going into detail enough. She not doing this, she not doing that, she not doing this. And in the meantime, Donald Trump can have a rally in which 39 minutes, this motherfucker just sitting up there swaying and swatching for shit, while Pavarotti is playing YMCA for 39 minutes because he stopped answering questions. Yes, I'm going to play the what if game. What if Kamala Harris did that? So he was in Pennsylvania the other day, the hometown of Arnold Palmer, great golfer back in the day. So the dude started talking about, now Arnold Palmer's dead, the dude started talking about Arnold Palmer's jump when he got out the shower one day. At a presidential campaign rally, he's talking about it, excuse my language, ladies, but he's talking about a dead man's dick. That's what he's talking about. But she doesn't give enough detail. She does not give enough information. But that's what he talks about. And the weird thing is, he can say whatever he wants, when he wants, without any consequence, simply because of this. Mike Johnson, Mitch McConnell, James Lankford, Jim Jordan, Marjorie fucking Taylor Greene is the dumbest chick in captivity. And on down the line. It's not going to check him for nothing. Nothing. But you know what? Listen to the umpteen people that has worked for him when he was last president that says he's unfit to be the president. He's not worthy to be the president. These are Republicans. General Mattis, General McManus, General Kelly, General Milley called them fascists, to the core. I'm not even going to tell you what that word means because you can go look it up. You can look that up when you're looking at why the country's so fucked up. So the other day at a presidential rally, the dude talks about Arnold Palmer's jump. In the same news cycle, he talks about the enemy within and how he should be able to go after them with the National Guard or the military. That is the most fascist, communist shit ever. Put this in perspective. I mentioned it before. People like Adam Kinzinger, Liz Cheney, Barack Obama, everybody who speaks up against him, he wants to be able to go after, prosecute, put in jail, and in the case of General Milley, who was the Joint Chiefs of Staff Chairman, the highest military member in the country, in the U.S., he wanted him executed. This ain't the time to be sitting around. I love both of you. I really do. But if you think I'm bullshitting, go and look at the interviews that Jake Tapper did, Tapper, did with Speaker Mike Johnson and the governor of Virginia. Go look at those interviews and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. So, in conclusion, I'll say this. The country isn't too fucked up. And the reason why you are where you are is by benefits of the country, more than you realize. People in office give empty promises. People in life give empty promises. Right? Take it for what it's worth and move on. No matter what, country's still going to be fucked up. Do something about it. You be the one. You got it in you. Actually, I'm talking to both of y'all. Y'all got it in you. Y'all be the ones. There's a lot of stuff going around happening and no one around to fix it. Or no one's going to fix it. Can it be fixed? Do you know if it can be fixed or not? And if it can be fixed, why haven't you done anything to fix it? You're going to live here. You're going to have kids, grandkids. Don't you want them to live in a better country? I know I damn sure do. That's why I'm talking about my beliefs and what I feel will make a better country for my kids and my grandson and any grandkids that I might have. Any other grandkids that I might have. Nieces and nephews. All of that. I want them to have opportunity. I feel like I turned out great. Well, fuck that. I feel like I turned out pretty good. And I want them to have a better opportunity than I did. And I promise you, I had every opportunity in the world. I did what I did, and that's that. But y'all be better than your old coach. In the case of my man in Arizona, be better than your aunt. But with the mentality of the country is too fucked up and all that other stuff, that means you always going to be living in a fucked up country because you think it's worse than it actually is. Again, go look at the Palestinian people. Go to Gaza, Israel, Lebanon, Iraq, Iran, Russia. You go to Russia, you ain't coming back. Mr. Whalen went over there for a funeral, and he ended up spending 6 years in prison on some bullshit talking about he was a spy. That's what Russia will do to you. That's what a fucked up country is. Thank y'all for listening to this episode of the Chronic OGs podcast. I'm that boy they call Big Tone, one half of the Chronic OGs. Love you. Peace out. Yeah. What's good, my people? What's good? What's good? What's good? What's good? I'm that boy they call Big Tone, one half of the Chronic OGs podcast. Shout out to my little brother Smitty. Um, please don't forget to hit the like and subscribe buttons so we can try to grow this. We haven't had the success we would like, but we enjoy doing what we do, so we're going to keep going after it. So today is another... I hate to say it this way, but it is what it is. Today is another today's another election update and anti-Trump. But I'm going to call it the way it is, though. Real talk. I'm going to call it the way it is. So, quick economy update. This was from about 2 weeks ago, actually as of October the 9th. Stock prices had hit an all-time high. Unemployment was low. Pandemic era inflation. I keep talking about what caused the inflation, which was the pandemic, is way down. Job creation is up. Wages are up. No one is talking about recession. And just like President Uncle Joe said, we're going to hit a soft landing from the pandemic era inflation. Without triggering a recession or inflation. So that's some good news right there. I think things have changed a little bit. I don't think things are as good the last couple of weeks, but I have to check. So recently, one of the bombshells that came out was Bob Woodward's book called War. And in his book, so Bob Woodward is renowned like one of the best journalists of all time, one of the best writers of all time. He don't put no bullshit out there. So in this book, it actually talked about what I'm going to call some of Trump's treasonous activities. So in the book, he reveals that Donald Trump gave, along with the conversation, sent COVID tests to Vladimir Putin. There was a back and forth with Vladimir Putin and Donald Trump where Putin said he didn't want people to be mad at Trump because they wasn't going to be mad at him, and Trump didn't care, and blah, 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 and this, that, and the other. Also says Trump talked to Putin at least 7 times since January of 2021. Why are you talking to the president of Russia 7 times? What is that about? It's an adversary. What are you talking about? Was you assigned to go over there by the president? Was you assigned to have these conversations? Were you asked to have these conversations? And if you had such a great relationship with Putin, to be giving him shit that our country needs, why didn't you negotiate them hostages to come home? Just saying, you and Putin, best buddy. Why couldn't you get them hostages to come home? In the book, General Milley, who was the Joint Chief of Staff Chairman, referred to Trump as a fascist to the core. The most dangerous person ever in the history of our country. This is the top military member of the United States. Everybody answered to him in the military. Some way or another, chain of command gonna roll up through my dude, General Milley. Who worked for him, said he's fascist to the core. General Mattis, General McManus, General Kelly, all top military men, has said, don't put them back in there. They basically saying, y'all crazy as fuck, put them back in there. Adam Kinzinger, Liz Cheney. And you know the disappointing part, because the reasons these people speaking out is not just because of some of the policies he wants to implement, which is in Project 2025, but it's about his mindset. You know, the lack of honesty, the lack of decency, the lack of respect, the lack of honor. Like, he has none of that. He cares about no one but himself. So he sent who knows how many COVID tests at a time when we lost, in the end, we lost 1 million people due to COVID. And had he kept Obama's playbook in place, probably would have saved about 75% of those lives. Nah, but he got rid of it because it was Obama. So he said, nah, we ain't keeping that. So I'm going to give you, again, some of the examples of his treasonous activity to me. Calling January 6th a day of love, that don't work for me. He believed Putin over his own national security team. And he said it in front of the world when he asked Putin, did he interfere in the 2016 election? And the dude said, yeah, Dan Coates told me he did. But there's no reason why I shouldn't, I'm paraphrasing, there's no reason why I shouldn't believe him. So he said, called Putin brilliant for invading the war with Ukraine. Only praises dictators like Putin, Kim Jong-un, Viktor Orban. He had Russian diplomats in the Oval Office where he passed classified information to them, given to him from the Israelis. And I firmly believe Benjamin Netanyahu wanted to keep that war going to help Trump out. That's a conspiracy theory. I'm just throwing that out there. But shit, they didn't kill the leader of Hamas. They didn't kill the leader of this. They didn't kill the leader of that. You should be trying to get those fucking hostages back and end the war. No, but they want to keep bombing and keep bombing and keep bombing. No ceasefire, keep bombing. That's interesting to me. Just saying. All of the anti-immigrant rhetoric. We're a nation of immigrants. Everybody here, unless you're a Native American, is a descendant of an immigrant. This country was built on the backs of immigrants and slaves and people of color. This dude was in Detroit and said, if he don't get voted president, the country gonna be a mess. It's gonna be just like Detroit. How you gonna shit on one of your own American cities? One of your own American cities, one of the most consequential cities in the history of the country. How you gonna shit on that? General Motors. I'm just saying. Then he lied about all the FEMA relief. Now people don't want to go get the relief they need because this fool they put out there that somebody was going to steal your land and all this other shit, and that all the money was going to immigrants, and Biden and Harris ain't doing this. Just lies when people need it most. And you know what pissed me off about that the most is that my son could have died in that hurricane. He lives 10 minutes outside of Asheville, North Carolina. Why you lying about the shit? So think about those phone calls, y'all, to Putin. What is there to think that he wasn't talking to Putin about the classified documents that he had stored at his house right next to his shitter and on the stage and in the file cabinet and in the laundry room and in his bedroom and every place else he had it? Why shouldn't I think that? So those are examples of some of the treasonous activities that I feel should prevent him from being president again. January 6th, the insurrectionists. That's another one. Did y'all know this? Illegal border crossings are lower than on Trump's last day in office. Dude stated that he'll deploy the military against his political opponents. Like, don't talk bad about me. I don't like when you talk bad about me. So here's a new one. So there's a report out, Justice Kavanaugh. So when they go through when they get appointed, nominated, when they get nominated, before they get appointed, they go through an extensive investigation through the FBI. So initially there was some sexual allegations that came up with Justice Kavanaugh. So of course it was talked about during the hearings, but that extensive investigation did not take place. The reason why that extensive investigation did not take place, Trump and his White House shut it down. They knew this nigga was grimy. The investigation was minuscule compared to the way it was supposed to be. And that was all directed by the White House. And this is not a conspiracy theory. I think it's important to understand how these generals feel. When a general that worked for you says that you are fascist to the core and an extreme danger to the country, we got to believe that. General Kelly says he's unfit because these are all people, these are Republicans, all people that work for him. We got to believe that. General McManus, got to believe that shit. All the Republicans that have come out, all the Republican district attorneys, and all these other. It's funny how all these Republican people are coming out and putting country over party, but the group of people that's supposed to look after the country first refuse to do that. And that's the people in Congress. Mitch McConnell, you know he grimy. You know he dirty. But you can't go against that. You can't go against that. You're not putting country. All of y'all to do that stand by and says nothing when he talks about Arnold Palmer's junk on a presidential campaign rally, when he says in a presidential debate how they're eating the cats and the dogs, they're eating the pets, and y'all don't say nothing. You could denounce that and still support him, but y'all too scared to even do that. Y'all too scared to say, you know what, the president was wrong with what he said. I still support him, move to move. Y'all won't even do that. Country over party, my ass. Then the dude was talking about the enemy from within. He talked about that. And how he believes Adam Shifty Schiff is what he called him, and Nancy Pelosi, and all these other people that speak out against him, rightfully so, should be prosecuted. Where they do that at? Not here. These not they're not supposed to. So when I hear young people tell me that it doesn't matter and all this other stuff and the country's fucked up, woot the woot, the yada yada, it can be worse. We can be living under a dictatorship instead of a democracy. See, in a dictatorship, y'all don't get to complain publicly. You don't get to put a video out and say Joe Biden is a piece of shit. Donald Trump is a piece of shit. You don't get to make a song called Fuck Donald Trump. Fuck Donald Trump. You don't get to make that song in a dictatorship. Only in a democracy. In a dictatorship, if that dictator says there's going to start being a draft, y'all young asses is going in the military whether you want to or not. In a democracy, doesn't work that way. Do your research. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Chronic OGs podcast. I'm that boy they call Big Tone, one half of the Chronic OGs. Please don't forget to hit that like and subscribe buttons for me and share my episodes with your friends and family and everybody in your circle. Shout out to my boy Smitty, and I'm out.